Bienvenue à tous. Welcome to the International Press Review here on France 24 today with Marie-Noël Barr. Marie-Noël, take it away.
Me. Okay, he'd promised he'd change, but Mark, our dear president...
He ain't my president. He may be yours, but he ain't mine.
Mark, okay, calm down. Is back doing what he does best. That's right, ruffling a few feathers. Here he is on that old righty newspaper Libération, and he's also on the Figaro. And indeed, just hours after yesterday's massive teachers' strike against government cutbacks, Nicolas Sarkozy hit back by imposing draft legislation to ensure that school children are watched over by municipal employees in future strikes, so their parents can go to work. So that's pretty handy for single parents like you.
Does Libération think that's a good idea?
No, I don't think so.
I kind of predicted that, didn't we?
Yeah, funnily enough, the unions say that the plan undermines the right to strike, as the bill would require a 48-hour warning of coming strikes. Now, Le Figaro way into this. It's praising Sarkozy for flouting French taboos. I mean, this is a country where strikes are sacred, but you got to wonder what's this going to do for his popularity rating, huh?
Well, the thing that strikes me as really strange about France is that he campaigned on a load of issues when he wanted to be president, and now he's starting to implement that. People are saying, no, we don't want that. So I think there's a kind of schism in French society, I think, or French people in general. Are you going to force me to defend our president? Carry on.
Get your hat on, Mark, because I'm hearing wedding bells. Yeah, there's a picture from today's New York Times that shows a crowd of thousands of men and women kissing and hugging at San Francisco City Hall as they celebrate the announcement that California Supreme Court ruled on Thursday that same-sex couples can marry.
Oh, when you said men and women, I thought I saw men and women kissing each other, but you mean men kissing men and women kissing women.
Yes,
yeah.
Mark.
Okay,
does that please you? Yeah, okay,
well,
you like that image.
Clarifying in my own head.
Okay, now that that's down, the historic decision, which becomes effective in 30 days unless the court grants a stay, would make California the second state after Massachusetts to allow same-sex marriages. Now, you know, same-sex marriages are a big deal in the States. It's a very contentious issue in the presidential and congressional elections. And we have the findings of a Gallup poll published in today's edition of the Kansas City Star. And they pretty much tell you that the ruling is unlikely to prove popular with ordinary Americans in the heartland. Because pollsters remind us that while Americans are increasingly willing to deal with, gay men, for instance, they don't want them to marry their sons or anything. And the San Francisco Chronicle, meanwhile, tells us that opponents are already gearing up to challenge this ruling in November, when a state constitutional amendment banning same-sex marriages is expected to be on the ballot. So, there'll be more about this story.
So big news in San Francisco, welcomed in San Francisco, but not in the heartlands of the Midwest and places like that. What's next?
My question to you, Mark, is are you a gambling man, and would you be up for a quickie Las Vegas wedding?
Always up for a quickie gambling, or it depends whether it's a cert or not.
Okay, Mark, I'm pretty sure we can get a last-minute booking to Sin City, according to an article in today's edition of German daily Süddeutsche Zeitung.
Well said.
Well said. Las Vegas has been hit by an economic crisis for the first time in its history. Things are going from bad to worse, with less reservations, players betting less. No big deal, but investors are a bit put out as this is happening as they were undertaking a massive building works. So, it's the latest fallout of the subprime disaster. So I say let's be charitable and let's go spend our hard-earned earnings in Las Vegas. A bit of Texas Hold'em and poker, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right?
You think so? Okay.
Absolutely.
Of course, you're presuming that we get paid. Of course, I just come here for the fun of it because I love it that
Mark,
much. Okay?
I can, altruistic figure than you
eyes.
are. Yes. If you don't want to come along with me, Mark, I might just ask that saucy little minx Sherry Blair to come along because, she sounds like she could be a bowl of laughs if her new biography is anything to go by. Although it's gotten her in a bit of hot water. This flash in today's edition of the Evening Standard screams, Judge Sherry must resign over diaries. Apparently, one of her stick-in-the-mud legal colleagues feels that she's brought the profession into disrepute with indiscreet revelations about the fact that her youngest son was conceived because she was too embarrassed to take contraception to Balmoral.
Well, certainly, there you go. Marie-Noël Barr there with the ins and outs of all the papers you're watching in France. Stay with us.